Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside, and today we are on the back patio, the very sunny, the very warm back patio, and we are going to say goodbye to the summer annuals and hello to some gorgeous fall color. Of course, we are back here on our back patio, and this is, I dare say, one of the hottest spots in our garden. It is just, whew, she bakes. I've been out here doing some weeding already, and I'm glistening. It may be fall, and it was gorgeous this morning, but it heats up. I saw on, I think it was on like Instagram yesterday, and it was like, it's officially the weather where you put on a sweater in the morning and you're gonna regret it by the afternoon. We are there. So what are we doing? We're going to say, like I said, goodbye to the summer annuals that are in these beds. What we're saying goodbye to is we're gonna just start down here. This is the Catalina White Linen Terrenia, which is a beautiful annual. It trails. You can see it goes up some, but not a whole lot. I had it underplanted for my David Austin roses and my blue chiffon Rose of Sharon tree. The bees are still enjoying it, but we're gonna say goodbye so that they can say hello to some pansies and violas. So this is going to come out, as is all of the Super Petunia Mini Vista White Petunias and the Sun Patience. Now, let's walk through this because some of you may be going, but Jenny, they're still so pretty. And I would agree to an extent. The petunias, as we come in here and look, you can see they're tired. They're hot, they're tired. They've been in here all spring and they are ready to go. I have not trimmed these at all this season. That's why I like using the Mini Vista White, because it's much more controlled. But you can see right here as we get closer to the steps and the gardenia, right? They're done, they're tired. And as my annuals become tired, that is when I am pulling them out. I have other annuals that look amazing and they are going to stay. However, in this garden, they are going to go ahead and go. And can we pause just for a minute right here and talk about beautiful, look at the Scepter d'Isle. This is the David Austin rose. Look at that beautiful clump. Is she not just stunning? I mean, we've got 6 flowers right there. Oh, just beautiful. I have enjoyed having my Sun Patience. This is the blush pink here, and they have done exactly what I wanted them to, as far as they came up and they kissed just right above the back porch, the brick. I planted these they're in groups of 2. So I planted 2 in each section between the camellias and the boxwoods. Part of me, I could leave these and say, okay, because the tops are looking good, but then when you get down in there at the bottom, they're they got naked ankles down there. And then the other reason that I want to go ahead and take those out today is twofold. One, I am in this space, so let's just get this done, get it checked off the list, makes me feel better. But also, my white shishi camellias are loaded with flowers. Loaded, not with flowers, sorry, with buds, flower buds. And I want them to shine, get as much sun as they possibly need. White shishi is from Southern Living. It is a petite camellia. So if you're like, why in the world would you plant camellias right here in front of your porch? They're only going to get like 3 feet tall, 2 to 3 feet tall, and like 3 feet wide. So really, they're going to fill in between these sprinter boxwoods. I am going to come in here probably and do just a little bit of trimming also on some of these rogue limbs that I have. They do not have buds. I can tell where my buds are because look at those beautiful little swells right there. Just gorgeous buds that are going to be beautiful double white pure flowers. So that is what we're going to do. So first things first is we are going to do the easy part, and we are going to rip out the Terrenia, the petunias, and the impatiens. And then I'm going to show you, teaser, all of that gorgeous color back there that we're going to put in. All right, my friends, I promise it's not a different day. It's just, remember what I said about regretting the clothes that you put on in the morning in the fall because it's nice and cool? Dear heavens to Betsy, I was dying out here. So I went and put on some athletic shorts, and I couldn't even stand one of my t-shirts because it was just too, like, touching my skin too much. So I borrowed one of Jerry's big old Creekside shirts. So nice and comfy, a dry hat. We are good to go now. All the annuals are pulled out. Now, I did forget to say, I am going to go ahead and get rid of the baskets. I know I could save them a little bit longer and water them, but y'all, this area I'm just done with. I'm done with the summer annuals, and I'm ready to move on to fall. So those are going to be coming down too, and just toss them. My liners, I'll check. As long as they're not super thin, then I will save them for next year. So we're going to do that. Let me show you the beds. They're all cleaned up and tidied up. Everybody is out. You know, not too big of a grand reveal here, other than there are no more annuals in those beds. So what we're going to do next is a couple of things. So one, you will notice that I still have some pretty kind of deep little divots, holes where especially the impatiens were, and I need to redistribute my soil, see exactly where I'm going to plant all of these sweet little violas and pansies. So I'm going to use some really fun new hand tools that our friends at Felco sent me to try out. So these are your, what I would consider your basic staple tools that you need in the garden. Like I said, they were kind enough to send us these so that we could test them out. I am very curious to see if you would be interested in us offering these on our website. So let's just kind of walk through them. First of all, of course, they are from Felco, so they are that great Swiss-made product, extremely well made. These are not going to get messed up anytime soon. So what we have here, and I'll just kind of go through them. So we have the garden fork. Then we have a cultivator, which I think is great because it looks like just like a claw. And then of course they put the little rubber tips on it to protect your, in shipping. So they're they got some good grip in there, and that I think this will be the best one to help kind of redistribute my compost and my soil. Then they have their version of, this is the Swiss Hori Hori as opposed to the Japanese Hori Hori, which is what I have. And you'll see that it's cupped a little bit more, and then it has a flat edge blade on both sides. So my Japanese Hori Hori has a serrated side on one side. This has the flat on both, and then the tip is round. So this I think would be great, especially today, planting those plants, along with, of course, the garden trowel. Really nice look on that. Not incredibly deep, but a nice point. So when I'm going into clay soil, this would definitely work really well. And then the garden weeder. So this is to, of course, get in there and get your weeds. And from my understanding, you don't really do it like this, like a cobra. You turn it to its side, because can you see it's got that blade right there? So you get in there. We're going to pretend this is the weed. How about that? If it'll stand up. All right, that's my weed, and you get in and then you pull it and you get the roots and everything. You can cut it, and then of course you can dig and pull at the same time and get that all, those weeds out. So thankfully I don't have any weeds in these beds. I just need to redistribute my compost and my soil that is in the beds. So I'm going to test those out today, and I'll be using those over really kind of my fall planting. But please, if you think you would be interested in that, we're going to stick them on the website and have them for you, so let me know. What are we going to be planting, Jenny? Well, let me tell you what we're going to be planting. We have got, and I don't know if I'm going to use all of them. I'm sometimes a bad gauge of character as far as like numbers. So we have got violas in the beds around the sprinters and the roses, well, where the sprinters are, right? Those two more elevated beds, we're going to do beautiful clear yellow violas, very, very cheery, and we're going to mix them with some sweet purple violas that have a nice little yellow throat to them. So we're going to mix in the yellow and the purple, and then we're also going to go for some pansies, and this is the Grandio Beacon Blue. Look at that. When I saw these on the nursery tour the other day, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have to do something with those. So I got 2 flats of those, and those are gonna go right here underneath the blue chiffon Rosa Sharon and the 2 David Austins. So we're gonna fill in pansies there. The violas are gonna go in those 2 beds around us. Now, I know some of you, you're gonna notice that Miss Brennaboo is down there, and she's tied up to the back of Johnny in the shade, and she does have a bone, so she's quite happy. But we have some folks here working in the house doing, we're taking out our carpet and putting down some floors. Remember I told you about the kids redoing their rooms? So we're putting down, taking out the carpet that's been in there for 20 years. Been in our house for 20 years now, almost, January, it's crazy. So we're taking that out. So I've got a house full of fellas in there working. Of course, they're in and out, in and out, in and out. German Shepherd doesn't really particularly enjoy that very much, and I want to keep my fellas happy and not have to worry about a German Shepherd sneaking up on them and barking them. So that's why she's back here tied up. She is perfectly fine. I'm giving her water. I know that y'all just adore Brenna, and she is perfectly fine. No worries about that. All right, while we're also back here, what I'm going to do is I am not going to worry about my roses. I know they're a little wild and woolly right now, and other than maybe getting some twine and cinching up old Scepter Dial right there. Look at her. Such a little overachiever. This is the one that has been in the ground the entire time since the patio. Everybody else is either new or been moved. But clearly she's kind of needs to have a little help. So I might cinch her up just so that I don't get attacked by a rose. But I'm not going to trim roses right now at all. So what I am going to do is I'm going to come in with my camellias, and you can see probably maybe a little bit better now that the plants, the impatiens are gone. And so when I have these like rogue stems like this, there are no buds on here, okay, because this is new growth. So what I'm going to do is come down and just like clip it right here. I am not coming in. This is not time to prune your camellias. Let me repeat for my sweet friends in the back. Now is not the time to really prune your camellias. The only reason I'm pruning these very rogue limbs is because they're new growth, they don't have on buds, and they look a little wild. So, prime example right here. See those? They're like, woohoo, yay. We're going to trim that back, and I'm going to trim it to like right here. Do you know why I'm going to trim it to right here? Because look on the other side of that leaf. There is a bud. I might even go to right here. I don't know. But again, please do not prune your camellias right now unless you are doing like I am and you're doing selective limbs that are clearly not where they belong, okay? Camellias bloom on old growth. If you prune your camellias right now, you're taking off all the flowers, and you do not want to do that. You're going to do that. Trim those. It's hot, and I'm trying to think about what I'm doing. Also, so we're going to smooth out the soil. We're going to clip back the camellias. We're going to also, I know it may sound a little counterintuitive, but I'm going to go ahead, once I smooth out the soil, I'm going to come in and just lightly water this, because y'all, when I say it's dry, and I know, okay, my friends in Texas, just ignore this, just understand where I'm coming from. It's dry right here. We don't have irrigation in this part of the bed, and it is very, very dry. So if you dig down in there, it's okay, but I want to go ahead and give a little bit of water right here because when I put those pansies and the violas in, I don't want them to go into complete and total shock. So I'm just going to kind of wet down everything, maybe even hit my shrubs. I don't know. We'll just play it by ear. All right, get that. Probably go ahead and set out the plants too, and then I'll meet you back here in just a second. Okay, my friends, the project today is complete, and man, it turned out to be a doozy of a project. I don't know what it is about me and my brain, the way I think. I'm like, oh, this will be easy. Plop some old ones out. Yeah, rip some old ones out, plop some new ones in, and you'll be done. Yeah, it turned out to be like almost a 4.5, 5 hour project. But alas, it is done, and it looks very sweet. Jerry is helping me and cleaning up some stuff. The old planters are done, and so he's helping me kind of tidy some stuff up. But I know that I said that I was going to place them and then talk to you. Well, once I started placing them, I was like, oh, I got to see them in the ground, and then I just kept going. So the pansies here just look so sweet. I love this, and I'm loving that we're going to try in the same garden space have pansies and violas, so then we can really see how everybody does and performs and behaves in the garden. They just look so sweet. I love this color. It's just a great, great, sweet little color, and we've already got little pollinators coming over them. We've got bumblebees, we've got moths, we've got butterflies, we've got all sorts of fun things. So then as we come down, all I did is I knew that I didn't want to do like straight line per se, and I didn't want to do every other one. So we went ahead and did them in groups of 3. So I did them kind of in like little triangles, and I alternated the triangles. So I did the yellow violas with 2 in the back and 1 in the front. And then you'll notice I came over here and did the purple ones with 1 and 2. By planting the violas in little groups of 3 and alternating back and forth, come this later on this fall, really this winter, and then definitely by spring, this whole area will just be one mass carpet of color and looking gorgeous. The colors, of course, will complement the white shishi camellia because they are just a nice, beautiful, pure white. So really, I could have chosen any color and it would have worked really nicely right here. So it just kind of continues all the way down. And then as we come to The back bed as well, yellow and purple, loads and loads and loads of color. Makes me very, very happy. It makes me happy to have this space kind of cleaned up and tidied up. Jerry got the hanging baskets for me, so those are gone. The deck boxes, they're still doing great. They're rocking and rolling, loving life, and so they get to stay. Basically, as things start to look sad, then they come out. But the deck boxes are looking great. That verbena is still just rocking it out quite nicely over there. So she and all of her little companions live for another day. I think, and I say this, I think I'm gonna plant those when it's time, pull all that out, go ahead and do fresh soil, because I know that those roots have completely taken over those entire boxes because of how vigorous those plants are. So I'll go ahead and pull everything out, replenish all my fresh soil, and then plant some pansies and or violas, combination of both, with some tulips. Go ahead and plant some tulips in there, and then come spring, we'll have a gorgeous display of pansies and tulips together. And then they don't take, their root systems are not that aggressive, so then I can take those out and put my summer annuals in, and everything will be fine. Quick little update on the containers that we did, looking at the different soils. Everybody's doing great. I watered it just initially when we first planted them, and then I've just let them go. We've not had any rain to speak of, just a couple of little drops, but I wouldn't consider it true like rain, but everything else is, they're doing good. So it'll be just a little bit longer before we can really say one way or the other, or maybe not say one way or the other, which one is doing the best out of all of them. All right, y'all, get out there in your gardens, even if it's a warm and toasty fall day. I think today was supposed to be the warmest of the week, so hopefully it will cool off as the week goes on. This girl is ready to actually garden in jeans and a light sweater and not die of a heat stroke. So, as always, my friends, thanks so much for watching. Hope you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.